Alright, what's up guys, this is Dom, and we're here with the ICBA Season 3, Week 2. We're going up against Jarrett this week. This is our first division battle, so this is a very important game. And also, shoutouts to Johnny GB for recording this footage, and Heavy Metal Pokemon for genning my team this week. It's very much appreciated, guys. Thank you very much. So, I brought Vaporeon to deal with things like the Piloswine and the Bouffalant and his other physical threats that he didn't bring, like Doublade. I brought Diggersby just, to revenge kill the Pheromosa if need be, and to try and set up and sweep with Swords Dance. Next up, we got Jirachi that's bulky to be a switch into the Mew to scatter what its set is. Mew turn for momentum, get rocks up, and it could also take a hit from the Pheromosa if need be, in case it is speed boost. In case it's not speed boost, I do have Darkrai to revenge kill the Pheromosa. So that's I think a very good bring by me. I don't think he's really going to expect Scarf Darkrai. Next up, we do have Shaman that could it was there for the Primarina, but it's also a very good switch into the Virizion. And then finally, we do have our Rotom, because literally my team gets 6-0'd by Mega Pinsir, so I got to try to bring a Flying Resist. So it is very physically bulky Rotom this week. Hopefully get me some momentum too, and willow some of his threats, because of a lot of his Pokemon. Like if the Pheromosa is physical, that means 5 of his 6 Pokemon are fit, or Virizion could be a special attacker too, but I think it's going to be a physical attacker versus me. But so like potentially 5 of his, actually all 6 Mew could be a physical attacker too. So potentially all 6 of his Pokemon could be physical attackers this week. So I definitely think Will-O-Wisp and Scald can definitely put in some really good work. I predict he's going to lead with Piloswine, because I didn't bring Mega Pidgeot, and I'm pretty confident that was one of his switch-ins to Mega Pidgeot. So I think he just wants to get rocks up as soon as possible. So I'm going to lead off with Vaporeon, expecting that. So let's see what happens. So as you see Jarrett, and he's going to send out. I send out Vaporeon as he sends out his Piloswine, like I expected. So right here, we're just gonna have one of the freest Scalds ever. So here we just click Scald, and here I can see by the damage here that this is a specially defensive Piloswine, most likely for my Mega Pidgeot. But I felt because of the pressure of Stealth Rocks and this Piloswine being able to switch in, I didn't feel Mega Pidgeot was gonna be really worth it, especially since Pheromosa could easily revenge kill it. But I do get the turn 1 burn. That's what you get for giving Vaporeon a free Scald. So right here, I have another free Scald. Might as well click it, right? So I click Scald as he goes into his Virizion. Here I click Scald again, trying to snag a burn here and try and punish him for switching it in. And we actually get the burn. It's very unfortunate for him that he does get 2 burns in the first 2 turns, but he stayed in with the ground type on Vaporeon. I guess that's a common thing this season, and now his Virizion's burn. So this is a really good way to start the game. I go into Shaman, especially since his thing is crippled. He goes for Swords Dance. Now he's back at neutral attack. He would have been at +2, which would have been pretty scary, but it's okay. So Shaman here, I'm just gonna click Dazzling Gleam here. There's no reason not to. I am aware of the Bouffalant having Sap Sipper, so I got to be wary of that, and be careful if I click Seed Flare. So right here, he switches in Piloswine. Okay, so I'm thinking to myself that he's probably going to sack his Piloswine here, because and since I know Dazzling Gleam's not going to kill, I do decide to click Seed Flare. But he then withdraws his Piloswine to switch into his Pinsir, which I thought was very surprising. I was very scared of him switching into Bouffalant there. I'm like, wow, that was a pro play. But instead, I do get some nice damage off on the Mega Pinsir. So he does have Stealth Rock up, and he is -2 special defense. So right here, I'm just gonna go into my only check that I have to this Mega Pinsir is Rotom, and I can't really as you're gonna see here, it's not really that much of a check, but I kind of had to bring it. This Mega Pinsir is a big problem. As you're going to see here, this is a nearly max physically defensive Rotom, and this is a resisted hit, and it does so much damage. So right here, I'm more afraid of the Mega Pinsir than I am of the burned Piloswine, so I'm just going to click Volt Switch, as he does go into Piloswine, as I click Volt Switch, which is okay. So right here, I decide to make an aggressive play. I don't think he's going to go for Earthquake, because I do have a Levitating Mon. So I go right into my Jirachi, trying to get my Stealth Rock up. As he does predict my switch into Vaporeon, so he does go into his Virizion. So this turns out really well for me because I predicted his because I thought Vaporeon was too obvious, and I do want to keep him honest, not to because he is behind, and I do want to make sure that he he doesn't get too comfortable. So I do get my rocks up, and he switches in his Mew, which I was very happy about because I want to get a Toxic on this thing as soon as possible. So he does click knockoff here. He does pop my Cobra Berry, which is okay because he did not bring Hydreigon. So I don't really need the Cobra Berry as much, but it would have been nice for the Mega Pinsir. But I do avoid the Toxic. On this turn, I predict him to go, because clicking Toxic again would have been pretty obvious. He clicks Will-O-Wisp here, which is a good play on his part. But I am a special attacking Jirachi this week, so I'm okay with it. I predicted him to switch into one of his burned Pokemon to switch into the Toxic. So I just clicked U-turn this turn. So here we get to see if it's leftovers or not. So I just go right into Darkrai just to threaten it out. As we do see he's leftovers and not Cobra Berry, so I get a free Dark Pulse. But I know he does have Virizion in the back, and I don't want him to get a free +1. So I decide to make a prediction and click Sludge Bomb. As he does go into Pilot Swine, probably to sack it off, which is a good play on his part. I decide to click Sludge Bomb, as it does not take it out. But after the burn damage, I'm very confident another Sludge Bomb will take it out. So I just decide to click Sludge Bomb one more time. As he clicks Ice Shard, sacking it off. Because he's burned, it does like 2%. As we do get the first KO of the game for Darkrai, which is awesome. So right here, he does go into his he goes into his Bouffalant right here. I'm just gonna go right into Rotom because I could take any normal stab he can go for, and it can't really switch into the Mega Pinsir anymore because it'll get just 2-shot. So here he goes Mega Horn. So here I decide to get a free Will-O-Wisp off. If he goes into into his Virizion, that's okay, because I could probably beat it I could just Volt Switch out of there. But he does decide to stay in with the Bouffalant, so now another one of his Pokemon are burned, which is really nice. My Cobra Berry gets popped, which is not good. He does try to Pursuit Trap me. But here, I'm just going to go right for the Volt Switch, because now his Pilot Swine is burned. This most likely AV Bouffalant is burned. And here, I'm just going to click Volt Switch, as he goes right into his Virizion. I think a turn too late, but I do get the Volt Switch initiative. And here, I'm just going to get a free switch into my Shaman. So Shaman's in now. I'm just going to decide to click Dazzling Gleam here. There's no reason not to click Dazzling Gleam. Stealth Rock are up. If he decides to switch in Mega Pinsir, it's going to die. I don't think he's going to do that. So he goes right into his Bouffalant here. So he's saving his Virizion, which I thought was weird because it's burned, and I think it's death fodder a little bit too, and this Bouffalant is pretty crippled as well, which is really good that 2 of his 5 remaining Pokemon are crippled. So getting burns on half his team definitely helped out. Here I just go into Vaporeon, trying to get my Rotom back to a nice health, so it can hopefully take on the take a hit from the Mega Pinsir, and even try to take a hit from the Pheromosa. But here he goes into he switches into Pinsir on my switch into Vaporeon, so I was very happy about this because Vaporeon could take a hit at a relatively good amount of health, like around 50%. All I need to do is just get my Vaporeon up to a good amount of health, and now this big threat Mega Pinsir is gone, and Vaporeon can definitely be a threat. So if I get it back to full health, I think I got this game locked down, which will be very cool. So here he goes into Virizion. I don't want to let him set up, so I'm just gonna go right into my Shaman. As here he does reveal, he reveals the Synthesis here on this turn. So I thought it was very weird that he decided to try and keep his Virizion alive, especially because it was burned. But it does make sense because it is still a threat versus my team because it does have Swords Dance. but it's going to be way too hard for him to to be a threat against my team. So here he goes right back into his Buffalon, which is pretty much death fodder. And I just click a free Dazzling Gleam because I have a free Dazzling Gleam, and he doesn't really have anything he wants to switch into that. So right here, I don't know why I switch out, but I do switch out into my Vaporeon. But even, you know, I do want to take advantage and try and heal up my Pokemon with Vaporeon. That's why, but I should have used Synthesis first. Because I'm after Rocks, I'm going to be pretty close to range of Virizion neutral close combat after like a Swords Dance predicting a switch. So right here, I do click Wish, as he does make the aggressive play and go into my into his Virizion, because he knows that's one of his only things that can break Vaporeon, which makes me think that he was more of a defensive set, especially since it revealed Will-O-Wisp and Knockoff, and Knockoff didn't do that much damage. So I know he's probably going to go for Swords Dance, so I decided to make an aggressive play and go into my Rotom to pass the Wish to Rotom. And I don't want to stay in on Vaporeon and heal him up and give him 2 free Swords Dance. That would not be good. That would be very bad, actually. So here he comes Swords Dance, as Rotom goes right almost to full because Rotom has 50 HP and Vaporeon has 130, which is pretty nice. So here he clicks Synthesis again. I decide to this I think is a misplay, but I decided to scout the damage on Hex, because it is a 130. Even though I don't have any special attack investment, this is a 130 stab move, 130 base power because it's doubled because it's burned. So here, so I noticed it's not doing that much. So I just decided to Volt Switch. He reveals the Z move, and it is the Bloom Doom. So we're gonna see this animation here. So this is a neutral Bloom Doom from Virizion because he got the Swords Dance back. And Rotom, because it's a god, it's pretty much at the health I was at before I got the Wish passed. So there goes my Wish. But I do get Rotom back to a good amount of health. Here I go into my Shaman, which I think is a little bit of a misplay, but because I could have gone into Darkrai, but I definitely think this was a good play too as well. So here he goes close combat. I am out of range of his close combat. He has to get the highest roll possible to kill my Shaman at this range and neutral. So I just decided to click Synthesis to get back up to a nice healthy amount. And here on this turn I don't have a reason to not click Synthesis, because even if he clicks Swords Dance, he's only going to get 1 boost because it's going to be 3 times more, and then divided by 2 is 1.5. So so right now he's going to be a +1 Virizion, as I do go right back to full. And because of his minus defenses and Dazzling Gleam being super effective, I'm gonna 100% be able to take out this Virizion at this range after I take this close combat, because I'm pretty sure I can live a crit too. Maybe not. Yeah, it would have been close, because that did 120 damage times 1.5. Yeah, it would have been close. Yeah, 180 damage. Yeah, no, I would have lived on like 20 HP, because I think crits do 1.5. So here he goes into this really big threat for Hermosa. So here we do see that I decided to sack off my Shaman because I don't really have a switch into this. And here he's going to reveal to be, let's see which Beast Boost he is. He does reveal to be Speed Boost. I go on Showdown and I realize that his investment is most likely 200 HP investment, which is a lot more bulk than I planned for. So I have to chip him down a little bit, like get him to switch into Rocks like a couple more times. But I do force him out with Jirachi because I can take a hit. I can take a Throat Chop from this range. So here I just decide to click Moonblast. As I do click Moonblast here. And he sacks off his Buffalon, which is really good. Jirachi's 3rd kill of the season. So here I take a little bit of burn damage. as he just gets another free opportunity to go into Faramosa. I was thinking about going into Darkrai on the throat shot, but I didn't want to risk it because he could have just easily clicked U-turn, and even though I don't think U-turn would have killed, and I was very tempted to click Toxic on that turn too, expecting maybe to go for U-turn and not have the throat shot. But right here I go into Diggersby, but it's actually a roll to kill him with quick attack here. So I decide, because I saw three of his moves be U-turn, throat chop, and poison jab. So this is most likely a fully physical Faramosa. So I'm thinking his fourth move is high jump kick, because none of the three moves kill my Diggersby. So here, I'm going to go right into my Rotom, so I can have him crash on the high jump kick. And so he will be like over 100% in range of quick attack. So now the Faramosa, no matter how much bulk it has, is definitely 100% in range of Diggersby. So here Rotom goes down, and here I go right back into my Diggersby again, as he does get the beast boost in speed again. So here comes Diggersby, and here I'm just gonna click quick attack. He sacks off his Faramosa. Faramosa was a huge threat versus my team. He got 3 kills. So, and here I make a little, as he sends in his Mew, I make a little bit of a misplay. I'm scared of him having Aura Sphere, but it was really dumb, because I could have saved differential here. I knew he was going to Will-O-Wisp, and I decided to Sword Stance here. I wasn't sure of his set either, so I just wanted to be safe. So I decided to sack off my Diggersby for no reason, really, but it's okay. You know, I still win 2-0, but like, my thought process here is I want to get him in range of Dark Pulse, and I don't want him to get like a crit Aura Spear or something like that, something weird. So I see knockoff, but I don't know. I only know 2 of his moves are Will-O-Wisp and knockoff, but I'm very confident he has a recovery move in either Roost or Recover. And as we can see, Earthquake is not a 2-hit KO, so and with the leftovers, he's definitely going to not be in 2-hit KO range, but he will be in range of Dark Rise, Dark Pulse after an Earthquake. So I just decide to keep clicking Earthquake here. So he reveals his third move to be Roost. As I keep clicking Earthquake, I decide I don't go into Darkrai because, again, I am afraid of the Aura Spear, even though it is a real threat, but it's really unlikely on a bulky set, and it would be really unlikely for him to KO me. But since at this point my Diggersby is burned and I committed to this play, if I went in and I got 2-shot and he lived a Dark Pulse, I would possibly lose the game, possibly, like to a timeout. So that would not be good. And so I just want to guarantee the game at this point. So I just decide to keep clicking Earthquake, making sure he's in range of Dark Pulse, because I know he's not Cobra Berry, because he does reveal the leftovers. So right here on this turn, he's just going to come me off, as he's going to reveal his 4th move to be Psychic. So all my worries were for naught. I could have saved the point of differential, but it's okay. You know, I'm glad I took like the route that I guaranteed myself to win. And definitely in the moment, too, I think I was a little bit more worried because the Faramosa almost 6-0'd my team. And it was definitely scary at that point. So right here, I'm just going to click Dark Pulse. And this Dark Pulse is going to take out this Mew, because Darkrai is powerful, and it's going to end the game here. Yeah. So we defeated Jarrett week 2, 2-0. So now we are 2-0, plus 6 differential. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry for the long match. Leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.